The NFL just upheld DK Metcalf's 2-game suspension, and nobody should be surprised. The appeal was essentially doomed from the start because of how the league structured the process. Former NFL coach Chris Palmer reportedly handled the appeal, but here's the critical detail. When the initial punishment gets imposed with the commissioner's knowledge or consent, why would he change his mind one day later? The league clearly ran this decision past Roger Goodell before announcing it Monday. Once he signed off, the appeal became a formality, not a legitimate reconsideration. Metcalf's punishment stems from his interaction with a fan during Sunday's Lions-Steelers game in Detroit. The league determined he engaged in conduct detrimental to the NFL, a catch-all violation that bypasses the usual hearing officer process and puts final authority directly with the commissioner or his designee. That structure guarantees the original decision stands unless something dramatically new emerges during appeals. The financial consequences hit immediately and extend far into the future. Metcalf loses $555,555 in base salary for missing Week 17 at Cleveland and Week 18 versus Baltimore. That's painful but manageable for someone earning his money. The real damage goes deeper. The Steelers can now recover $1.5 million in signing bonus money if they choose. More significantly, they can void $25 million in fully guaranteed pay for 2026, plus $20 million in injury guarantees for 2027. That's $45 million in guaranteed money suddenly at risk because of 60 seconds of poor judgment. Does this mean the Steelers will actually void those guarantees? Not necessarily. The organization publicly reaffirmed their commitment to Metcalf for 2026 and beyond, but public statements and binding contracts are very different things. The Steelers now have an easy exit from Metcalf's deal after just 1 year if circumstances change or tensions escalate. Consider what this means strategically. If Metcalf's performance declines, if he gets injured, if another incident occurs, or if the team simply decides they want cap flexibility, they can walk away without the massive dead money hit that guaranteed contracts usually create. Metcalf went from having complete financial security to playing on what's essentially a prove-it deal, despite being in year 2 of a 4-year, $132 million contract. That leverage shift is enormous. The Steelers hold all the cards now. Metcalf needs to stay healthy, stay productive, and avoid any further controversy if he wants to see that guaranteed money materialize. One more significant incident likely ends his tenure in Pittsburgh, with tens of millions left on the table. The broader message from the NFL is crystal clear. You cannot physically confront fans under any circumstances, regardless of provocation. League policy explicitly states players may not enter the stands or make unnecessary physical contact with fans. The policy doesn't include exceptions for racial slurs, family insults, or prior harassment history. The line is absolute. Metcalf's representatives argued extreme provocation, pattern of harassment from the fan, and excessive financial penalty. The league didn't care. They upheld the suspension in full, sending a message to every player about where the boundaries sit. Metcalf returns for the playoffs if Pittsburgh makes it, which seems likely given their 9-6 record and lead in the AFC North. But he'll spend the next 2 weeks watching from home, losing over $500,000 and wondering whether $45 million in guarantees will ever actually land in his account.